From a corporate perspective, what's the strategy for 2014?
Looking at all the information that we have on the economy, I think 2014 is going to be nothing terribly special, certainly and hopefully an improvement on 2013, but all of the indicators that the government puts out or use indicate a very slow improvement, if that. So we're focusing on things that we can do in-house, so to speak, and generally a return to our roots in one direction with one product, with our new high-wing aircraft, and a steady as she goes, improve manufacturing techniques and so on with our low-wing aircraft, the SP2000. We're calling the new high-wing aircraft the GR-LSA or something like that, and it's a revamped version of our high-wing aircraft that we've been building for the last, well, nearly 30 years. We started in 1985 and it's nearly 2015, so 29 years for that one. But that's a return to the rag and tube method of building and taking all of the lessons that we've learnt over that period and piling it all into one aircraft, which will be a high wing. In terms of the SP2000, we're basically focusing on manufacturing procedures to make the whole procedure more efficient and obviously more profitable. And so also we're looking at improving customer service, which is sort of a strategy that quicker times for getting spare parts out the door, and better advice for customers using both the phone obviously and the web page. We will continue to develop our roadie, our electric car, with the long-term objective of course of making a flying car, but we will develop that, and there are pictures of that on the web page already. Also we will be improving our quality assurance programs and compliance standards and things like that. And also, as I hope is fairly obvious around the place in the videos that we've shot, we slowly and relentlessly improve the standard of the premises. In other words, we have our flight simulator. We'll be developing that this year and developing that as a new product, and also we'll have it here as a representative small business in its own right, virtually, where people can come in. They can either full-on learn to fly in the experience very real flight simulation, in other words, or they can simply treat it as a means of entertainment, where you can take off in a 737 and fly it up to Brisbane and land it at Brisbane International. We're also simulating our own low-wing aircraft in the simulator. We've had it drawn, and that's slowly heading down the track of being able to you can be able to simulate a flight in the SP2000 with the actual aircraft and its flying characteristics and its dashboard and its interior. So that's very exciting. That's being done by a new association with a company in Armidale, and we're really looking forward to that. It's going to be great fun and a good way of promoting our product in Australia and throughout the world, because you'll be able to buy a Microsoft version of or not Microsoft, Lockheed Martin version of the SP2000, so it's going to be great fun. That's a lot of stuff. You would hope to achieve all of those objectives you would have departments full of people, and there's really just a small handful of us here. On a good day, when everybody turns up, there's just half a dozen. However, we are all capable of doing the jobs of many people, and having employed many people that have come from bigger companies like Qantas, we've certainly demonstrated time after time that one person who's highly skilled and very motivated and very experienced can do the job of many. But yeah, it's a lot of objectives to achieve, and if we don't achieve them all, well, there's always next year, so it's no big problem. But I think they're all the sorts of things that a small business like ours should look at. Improvements in quality assurance, improvements in the physical premises, improvements in manufacturing techniques and tooling, all these sorts of things simply go hand in hand. That's doing basically what we've been doing for the last 29 years. So there's nothing really new there. We're also fining down our objectives with our six-seater, the SP6000, the dream machine as we call it. We have the tooling done for the body of that aircraft, and also the wings are partly complete. Engine is here, but we will do a little bit more development on that this year as well.
Let's round this interview off. What do you mean by back to basics, Howie?
Back to basics. I mean a return to our roots of fabric, rag and tube, shall I say, and that's with the revamped GR912. LSA is the designation for that aircraft that we're building at the moment, and you'll see various shots of that. Fabric covered, and this is prompted to some extent, dare I say, by the success, or seeming success, of the Cub in the States, where they're developing or redeveloping or reinventing the Super Cub with a Lycoming engine. So yeah, we're heading back to fabric. I believe that'll always be popular as a method of building aircraft. Certainly our low-wing aircraft is fiberglass body, sleek, nicely moulded lines, but the GR912 is a strut brace wing, a high wing, and fabric covering, which has a character all of its own. It's quite unique, and I think this will give us a point of difference from a number of other aircraft. And of course, by using fabric, we get the maximum amount of weight out of the aircraft, and with a welded steel frame, we have the maximum amount of strength in the aircraft. And I believe, although I won't promise anything, but I believe this will get us to the point in terms of weight and balance of the GR that we will be able to fit a very powerful engine to the GR in terms of a Lycoming 160 or 180 horsepower, as the Super Cub has done with their tandem seating rag and tube car. I just don't know the designation of it, but they have certainly trimmed the weight out of that aircraft to the point where they can fit the Lycoming 180 horsepower. And of course, fitting a powerful engine like that to an aeroplane that weighs around about the 400 kilos means you really do have a rocket ship on your hands, a plane that will climb, probably mainly climb. Its top speed still won't be that high, but certainly it will climb at well over 2,000 feet a minute. It will have a top speed or a cruise speed of in the order or in excess of 120 to perhaps 130 knots. In America, of course, the LSA rules limit your cruise speed, but in Australia we're not limited, so you'll have a plane with a good high cruise speed, and I think certainly Lycoming has as good a name as Rotax. That's a bit of a Rotax have certainly only been around for 20 or 30 years, but Lycoming have been around for a lot longer. But the reputation of both engines is solid, and so we would dearly like to fit a Lycoming engine to one of our airframes in the near future. And of course that would be a precursor to producing the same aircraft as a four-seater. All wonderful objectives. We just need the customers and the investment capital to pull it all off. But they will all happen, and whether they happen this year or next year or the year after, who knows. But they're certainly the objectives, is that the traditional methods of building, getting the smell of dope in your nostrils, of course, although there are of course new covering systems where you don't have to use the strong smelling paints, but yeah, the traditional methods of building are what we're heading back towards with the GR high wing, and steady as she goes basically with the low wing SP2000, where we'll stay with the nice sleek lines. So we'll have a good partnership there of two aircraft sitting side by side, serving two completely different markets.
So why should customers choose a light wing over the competitor aircraft?
In Australia, certainly, because we're here, because we're a stayer. You could count on the fingers of both hands all of the companies that have come and gone over the years. The Skyfox company, Eagle X, just to name a couple. We're here to stay, and so the longevity of the aircraft is underwritten by that philosophy that we're a family company. and parts will always be available. The designs you can count on always being good, sound. Certainly the safety reputation that we have with our aircraft is undeniable. The strength of our airframe is superb. In America, for example, as an export product, or an import into the States obviously, if the dollar continues to stay below 90 cents, that gives us a leg up, and it means that we can hit the American market at our target price, which would be under $100,000, which is what we're looking at in Australia, is producing our aircraft at less than $100,000. And I think we can achieve that. I believe that's the cut-off point for all sorts of things, whether you're running a flying school or simply buying a plane for recreation. You've got to be under that price. We've certainly been over it in the past, but I believe that the improvements that we're currently making will mean that we can sneak in under the $100,000.
Thanks for your time. We better get back to work. All right.